a lot of characters that are playing in the movie. You have to see what roles did they play. Already Colin Farrell has said that his Penguin is not going to play like a huge role. He's going to play like mostly a mild role, doesn't have a lot of camera time. It has been quite established that Paul Dano's Riddler is going to be the main villain. But the real Bruce Wayne aspect it was brought up in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, but not to the extent that I feel is going to be brought up in this upcoming film. And so that you remember, Matt Reeves is the director of the reboot of the Planet of the Apes, which had been really great thus far. So we wish him really good luck with the project. But now, you have in a couple of days it will be 81 years since Batman has walked into most of our lives. So I think we will still have to see the Dark Knight where it goes. But I think that comic-wise, they are trying to move. They are afraid to not to pull the trigger, but to pull the cable on the main Batman continuity, unlike, let's say, for example, Spider-Man, which is now Miles Morales in the comics. It's not the typical Peter Parker. I think it has also happened with the Green Lanterns, and I think as this should be the Matt Reeves movie should be one of the last installment. I think DC should work a really bit harder. So I think we're ready to walk into a next Batman. Batman Beyond stories are getting really huge. They're really gaining a lot of momentum. As well, the thing is that in the comic, I'm seeing, with, for example, this story of the three Jokers, I'm seeing like DC like rehashing too much between Batman and the Joker. And the thing is that it has been a really great formula. You could argue with the fact that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think in the Batman regular mythos, I think Dick Grayson should take the mantle, maybe inherit a little bit of the Wayne money and some Wayne tech, and leave more Bruce Wayne on the other part. So let's say like in about 10 years from now, we get a reboot of Matt Reeves' movie. I'm not saying that it's going to be bad, but when we have another reboot, instead of having the typical crime alley reenactment that we are all used to, we have a reenactment of the flying raisins, which will be a little bit more challenging in some sort of ways, of making a fall look dramatic. Who was it? And it gives this whole mystery, because when you have the whole Batman Begins story, it was immediately established that it was Joe Chill, but in the Graysons, you have a caper, and a lot of villains have been credited for that. So I think that should be, and I think it is really a great direction of investing more creative power onto the Batman Beyond mythos. So we will see what happens from this point on. For now, we have a lot of Batman to celebrate, a lot of Batman to digest, and if you want a lot of Batman, you should download the DC app. It's really good. They are not paying me any kind of sponsorship. I'm just suggesting this as a fan. So if you can get the DC app, you're good to go. So that's it for me. It has been a really pleasure talking about perhaps my greatest and my favorite superhero of all time, which is Batman and his whole amazing universe. This is Marcel Macedon Cruz for the Macedon Podcast. I hope you take really great care, and bye-bye.